Hello, Spring Park High School friends and family. Welcome to another VidCast edition of Meeting a New Colleague. Today I'm with a new colleague in our science department, Caleb Lachinski. He is in our science department and will be working with our alternative learning team this year. We're really excited to have Caleb join us in his first year as an educator, as a public school educator.
Yes.
Yes. So we're really excited that he is joining us. We have a series of questions, but before we do that, I want to announce our sponsors for this session. This session is being sponsored by Half Drinking Sparkling Ice. You could buy a full drinking bottle, or a full bottle, or an empty bottle, but today we are being sponsored by Half Drinking Sparkling Ice beverages. Enjoy them.
Yeah, half drinking's the way to go. Only way you can do it.
So with that, let's start with the first question. The first question, Caleb, is what schools do you hold a diploma from?
Sure. So I graduated from Mounds View High School, which isn't too far from here, in the same area. And then I went on and got my Bachelor of Science in Chemistry at the University of Minnesota, where I also continued to do my teaching licensure program and am working towards my master's.
Excellent. What is a fun fact about you, Caleb, that others might not know or infer?
Sure, yeah. One thing, I'm huge. I love cooking and baking and anything of that sorts. I don't know, I don't necessarily give off like a cooker baker vibe, I guess, but that's one thing I do enjoy doing.
Is there a specific baked item that you really enjoy? Do you have a go-to item?
Not necessarily. It's kind of different. It all depends on what I'm feeling. Homemade bagels are great option. Yeah, but pretty much whatever I'm in the mood for, whatever feels good.
Homemade bagels.
Oh, it's a lot of work.
I was gonna ask. Sometime I'll ask more about that. If you could make a living at anything, what would your dream job outside of education be?
I think it would have to be something to do with either like earth science and geology, maybe more specifically volcanology, like studying volcanoes. Has always been something that I think would be really cool and interesting, but at the same time, it's like you're going out and you're looking at a volcano, and there's that danger aspect to it that I'm not entirely sure I could handle.
Would you have to descend into the volcano?
See, that would be really cool and really scary, but I think ultimately it would be great.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So when not baking bagels and considering descending into volcanoes, what led you to a career in education?
I really, as a student myself, I really like learning. Well, even now, I still like learning. That's not something that's gone away. But I've really enjoyed learning, and I really want to share that with the students and get the students excited to learn. And it just felt like the right kind of thing. I didn't want to be at a job where I'm doing the same thing every day. And anytime you're working with students, it's always going to be different and exciting.
Well, that leads us to our next question, which is in the work you have done with students, what is one moment or impact that you are proud of or that continues to resonate with you?
For sure. The first one that comes to mind was last fall. I was student teaching at a middle school, and we set up a project based on, I think it was like natural selection and adaptations, where we had the students creating like their own like organism to survive in a set of fictional environmental conditions that we set up. And when we were done, we had students shouting like, "Oh my gosh, that was so much fun." We had one student that said, "Can we do that again?" And that was huge, and that has stuck with my mind like ever since. Anytime you can get someone excited enough to want to do it again and still learn something, that was probably one of my favorite moments.
Well, that's a really cool example. Thank you. The next question asks for an example of your jagged profile. And just for our audience, again, a jagged profile is a concept, the idea that none of us are perfectly average at any one thing, any classification or any measurement, but that our profiles are jagged, meaning that there are areas within any measurement or any classification where we may have high skills or high measurements, or low skills or low measurements, or we might actually land in the average for the median group. So whether this is a personal trait or professional trait or as a learner, the next question asks for an example of your jagged profile.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with, it's kind of personally, partly professional, but my patience is something that people have often remarked on, and It takes a lot for me to lose my calm or I'm pretty stoic. But the patience is super helpful in working with students, because students you never know what you're going to expect, but also it really helps, hold on to the idea that like every student can succeed and be successful, even if they're struggling in the moment.
Thank you. Appreciate it. The final question for today's VidCast is, what is an aspiration you have for this school year? If this school year is wonderfully successful, what's something you aspire or hope happens?
Yeah, if I can do one thing this school year, I want to get my students coming to school and my class excited to learn, and really excited to learn science and be really engaged and involved in the classroom.
Great. Well, thank you. Please, if you see Caleb, give him a warm welcome to our community here at Spring Lake Park High School and make him feel a part of who we are. Panthers, go Panthers. Thank you, Caleb, for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the time.
Absolutely. Make it awesome today, folks.